Topping today's news, the United States assisting the government with much-needed equipment in the fight against crime. A man fighting for his life after being shot multiple times on Plantal Street. Director of Education responds to claims over cultural concerns in schools. And we hear from two sides on the issue of Junkanoo versus Watch Night church services. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jarino Saunders. This is your JCN Evening News, and it is a pleasure to have you join us. In the past and in recent times, the United States continues to show that it is truly a friend of the Bahamas. Today, the U.S. State Department and the Royal Bahamas Police Force, they came together for a momentous occasion as they continued joint efforts against transnational criminal organizations. We hear more about today's events in this next report by Chloe DeVoe.
For decades, the government of the Bahamas and its law enforcement agencies, the Royal Bahamas Police and Defense Force, have been working to prevent human, drug, and gun smuggling. Today, by way of its partnership with the U.S. government, the RBPF and RBDF have acquired much-needed assets to support their efforts. On Friday, January 12th, the United States Department of State and the Royal Bahamas Police Force held a commissioning of marine craft ceremony, introducing the RBPF's newly acquired safe boats, bulletproof vests, and Jaws of Life. U.S. Embassy Charge d'Affaires, Usha Pitts, presented the $2.2 million donation at the Police Training College.
So today we're presiding over the donation of both the Jaws of Life and the ballistic vests. Now the ballistic vests, there are 45 of them. They will go to protect some of the senior leadership team, I understand, probably some of them here with us here today, but also to protect those working in intelligence and plain clothes to keep you all safe. You're putting yourselves in very risky situations when you're working intelligence and plain clothes. So we know that these 45 vests will go to protect you. They are worth about $40,000. And then the other thing I want to talk about are these Jaws of Life. There are 6 of them that we're donating today. And they will be sent out to various islands for protection.
Ms. Pitts especially highlighted the importance of the $1.6 million safeboat donation, noting how critical they are for patrolling each island and ensuring public safety.
They are just critical to preserving security in an island nation that has 700 islands, almost 24 of them populated. You have got to have safe boats for canals, for littoral patrols. You've got to have these equipment. And now these safe boats, there are 4 of them. They are 27 feet long. They feature enclosed cabins and trailers. I sound like I'm trying to sell you one, but actually we're giving you them. And they will be deployed around the Bahamas. We've got them going to New Providence, to Abaco, to North Andrews, to Bimini. They will of course be used in daily patrols and security, but they will also be used to support OPBAT, the Operation Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, which is of course a very close trilateral arrangement.
Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernander accepted the donation on behalf of the RBPF, thanking the U.S. Department of State for helping in the fight against transnational crime. He explained exactly how the safe boats will help both the police and the defense force.
They will fortify our efforts to respond swiftly and effectively to emerging threats. Based on our geographic location, the Bahamas continue to be used as a transshipment route for dangerous drugs and illegal firearms that fuel our crime situation today. We will utilize these go-fast boats in New Providence, Abaco, Bimini, Grand Bahama to strengthen and protect our borders.
Minister of National Security Wayne Monroe gave his remarks highlighting the long-standing relationship between the U.S. government and the Bahamas. Minister Monroe stated that the resources are important for the protection of both countries, pointing to an increase in transnational crime.
The documents that we will sign will on the face of them say that the government of the United States have made this presentation to us because it stops narcotics entering the U.S. That's how they must bring it to spend their taxpayers' money. But we all know that the assistance that we provide in stopping the flow of narcotics to the U.S. benefits the Bahamas. We only need to look around on our streets and see the results of drug trafficking, to see the results of multinational crime organizations at work.
The $2.2 million marine crafts and resources are expected to go towards preventing illegal trafficking on both Bahamian and U.S. borders and marks the next step in the U.S. Department of State's relationship with the RBPF and Bahamian government. These new assets will no doubt help the government's national security efforts and save lives. For Jcn News, I'm Chloe DeVoe.
Thanks for that report, Chloe. Police are investigating a traffic fatality on Thursday on Eleuthera that claimed the life of a 49-year-old male. Initial reports indicate that around 6:30 p.m., the accident took place on Queens Highway in Rainbow Bay, South Eleuthera, involving two vehicles, a gray Nissan Serena driven by a 60-year-old male and a Nissan Sentra which was driven by the deceased. You are looking at images from the scene of that accident as passers-by seek to render assistance. At present, police say the circumstances surrounding the accident are unknown. The deceased driver of the Nissan Sentra received serious injuries and had to be extricated from his vehicle utilizing the jaws of life. Both drivers were taken to the local clinic where the 49-year-old succumbed to his injuries a short while later. This becomes the second traffic fatality for the year following the death of a male pedestrian that was struck by two vehicles in the area of Red Bay's Andros last week. Police wish to inform the general public that the 2-year-old toddler shot on Lily of the Valley corner on Thursday remains in hospital in critical condition. Police say the 2-year-old was along with 3 adult females in a silver Honda Fit traveling west along Lily of the Valley corner when a male known to the females emerged from a nearby building and opened fire on the vehicle, which resulted in the toddler and his grandmother being shot. Both individuals were transported to the hospital where the grandmother succumbed to her injuries. It is reported that the vehicle is owned by the toddler's brother, who has an ongoing conflict with the suspect. It is further reported that a few weeks back, the suspect and the mother of the toddler were engaged in a physical altercation, which resulted in the mother being attacked. However, the matter was never reported to the police. Police are actively investigating and are once again appealing to members of the public to find alternate ways to resolve your conflicts. In other crime news, a 28-year-old male of Windsor Lane is hospitalized following a shooting incident that occurred on Thursday. Police say shortly after 4 p.m., the victim was leaving a business establishment on Plantal Street when a small dark-colored Japanese vehicle approached him. It is reported that 3 males, all armed with a firearm, exited that vehicle and discharged gunshots at the victim, which resulted in him being shot multiple times in the upper torso area. The victim was transported to the hospital in a private vehicle where he remains in critical condition. Police are actively investigating. After Pastor T.G. Morrison's address at the Majority Rule Ecumenical Services, where he focused mainly on immigration and illegal migrants, suggesting that a majority of the education system, more than 70% according to him, is made up of children of foreigners. Well, reporters spoke with Director of Education Dominic McCartney Russell today with regards to the accuracy of the pastor's statements. She says his figures are simply incorrect.
I cannot corroborate that statement simply because the evidence doesn't show it. You see what I'm saying? The evidence doesn't show that the majority of our schools are made up of foreign nationals. The evidence actually shows that the majority are made up of Bahamian children. But of course, our desire is whoever is in our school, the education access, that we have to provide an education for them. And why wouldn't we? You know, we want every child to be able to maximize their potential. We want them to be able to contribute to the national development. And in order for them to do that, they need to be in school.
Again, Pastor Morrison stated at the ecumenical service that we live in a country where more than 70% of those who are a part of our educational enterprise are the children of illegal immigrants, going on to refer to the matter as a major problem that needs to be addressed before it is too late. And finally, in this segment, the Commissioner of Police, Clayton Fernandez, spoke with our JCN News team while at the opening of the 2024 legal year on Thursday regarding outcry from the public for the arrest of the mother of the 16-year-old female that was shot and killed in her Nassau Village home last week. Police say the mother was harboring a wanted criminal in the home on the night of the shooting and that the criminal was likely the intended target. Commissioner Fernandez informed that the mother is now in police custody.
The young lady from Nassau Village for harboring the criminal that we were looking for respect to a murder. She is presently in custody and is scheduled to go to court sometime this afternoon.
The 42-year-old mother of Sampson Street, Nassau Village, was arraigned in the magistrate's court today in reference to harboring a criminal. Meanwhile, Commissioner Fernandez also responded to concerned citizens who say the Bahamas is in the midst of a crime crisis.
Well, it's a concern. It's a concern if we were not solving these matters and don't know the motive and what was going on, but we have a handle on the matters that occurred. And he recommended, and the sermon was so on time and timely, some of the recommendations that he highlighted that he made. It appears as though it's right from my policing plan, the same ideas, and we continue to enforce that to ensure safety in our Bahama land.
As it relates to bail and revoking bail, Commissioner Fernandez says he would like to see law enforcement and the judiciary find common ground. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.